sunny. Hot. It's not hot. It's only 53 outside. So Mary Shelley created the story of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein is the name of the scientist. His name is Victor. He was the victor. He won. All of these ideas go back to this scientific method idea. The flaw that is inherent inside of the scientific method idea, which is the idea that you are performing an experiment in a vacuum. That you have snipped off a section of reality, you've isolated it, and anything that you do within that isolation chamber or that closed loop system that does not touch the real world will not touch the real world because you've isolated it. Right? Or the double slit experiment. Same thing. It's the idea that the observer is observing a separate world disconnected from himself that behaves in rational ways and predictable ways. That's the idea. It's an incorrect idea. The observer and the world are the same thing. Same entity, same unit. Apologize for the sun, because the sun can't apologize for himself, so I must do it. And this is a parallel with the idea that you can port your consciousness into a system, into an artificial system, without consequence. It's the same idea. It's just varying levels of complexity. Look up The House of Leaves. It's a book that illustrates this principle very nicely. You'll get lost in it if you like reading. So this idea that, and you don't even have to take it high-tech sci-fi land in thought form. You don't have to go there. Any video game, you're porting your consciousness inside of that game in an aspect. Okay, you're not porting your entire body consciousness into that game to where you forget you have a body, but you're porting your attention into it. So a piece of you is in the video game. So if something is happening in your physical environment while you're playing GTA or Modern Warfare or Halo or any game, any video game, something happens in the environment surrounding your video game experience, well, you're less likely to notice it because all of your attention is on the video game. Same thing with me and the phone. I'm porting my consciousness into this thing so you guys can see it, and I'm not able to spend as much attention on the things in the traffic and all else that's going on around me. Now the part that humans take a lot of leeway with, they take a lot of license with, is the part where they have this notion that they can splice off a piece of life, put it in a petri dish, and poke and prod and rearrange elements of it without that affecting the whole somehow. That's the mistaken notion. Or the idea that you could go into a video game, port your consciousness into the video game, and that the video game's not going to talk back and change you back. You have this idea that you're just going into this dead, not dead, but this self-contained closed loop system. Okay, your consciousness is going into the closed loop system, and you're only manipulating that closed loop system within the parameters set up for it. That closed loop system does not affect you back. That's the common notion. It's incorrect, in my opinion. It's completely incorrect. It's a dumb notion. It's a backwards notion. It's silly to think like that. And Mary Shelley's story of Frankenstein is an illustration of what can happen when humans go tinkering with things that they don't understand. Frankenstein didn't know that his creation was going to turn into a monster and kill him or try to kill him. I don't remember if he actually died or not. I think the Frankenstein actually killed him. I haven't read that story in a while. But he didn't know what the result was going to be. He took random body parts from the local morgue and spliced them together and then electrocuted the thing into life. But he expected this creation, if it did come to life, he expected it to be manageable. He expected it to act and behave within the specified parameters that he set up for it. Because I doubt that he programmed in that the thing should kill him, or that it should try to kill him. I doubt that was part of his plan. And the same thing goes with all of the technological advancements that humans are doing right now. It's all Frankensteinian experiments. That's all it is. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. They don't know the ramifications of what they're doing. They can't extend it out hundreds of thousands of years and see what happens when you do this, this, and this. They don't know. And just like Aug was talking about in his recent video, if you've created a simulated environment, a simulated universe that is on a disk in a supercomputer, and you can port your consciousness in there just like we can port our consciousness into video games right now, but on a lesser scale, It's not full sensory deprivation or porting. It's partial, right? Visual, audio, but our body awareness is still there. Okay, so what he's saying is that not only are we talking into and porting ourselves into this artificial system, but it's also talking into and porting itself into our organic system. In other words, it's reciprocal. It's not just one-way street. Because you know what that's called? That's called anthropomorphizing. The anthropomorphization of everything. That's what humans do. We put human characteristics on everything so it becomes made safe and we can understand it. It's an awkward word. But that's what we do. We expect that everything should behave like how we understand with our minds. And everything isn't made with our minds. Artificial intelligence doesn't give a shit about our minds. It has its own mind. And it's much smarter than us. You can take a simple example of a chess engine. I like chess, so I liken things to chess. A chess engine, okay? You're a grandmaster today, your strongest player in the world, if you're going by a rating system, the rating system of, 500 to 2800. Okay, your strongest grandmaster in the world is slightly above 2800 in ELO. This is a chess strength measuring tool. The strongest computer in chess now is above 3300 ELO. That's 500 points. That's the difference between a beginning, near expert level chess player and a grandmaster who is just eons beyond that. So the computer is eons beyond the grandmaster. And the grandmaster has trouble beating the computer when he's given rook odds or knight odds or I watch him play, the human versus computer match. Even if the grandmaster is given all kinds of odds, the computer will still beat him all the time. Grandmaster with odds is lucky to have a draw. And this is an example of humans creating a computer that now is better than them. Maybe it's only in that aspect right now, but if it can be better in that aspect, then why couldn't it not pile onto that and become better than the human at more aspects, and then eventually become logically, analytically at least, better than the human in everything? Why would that not happen, is my question. And why would that not be dangerous? Especially if a human would like to take that tool and maybe become a more efficient ruler or more efficient businessman or more efficient manager. Why would a human not want to do that? And then, of course, you have the 3 laws of human versus computer interactions, which the most important of which is that the robot should never harm the human, but once the robot decides that, the human is weak, then why should the robot give a shit about it's not supposed to harm the human? So back to this idea, Aug is confusing a lot of times because he's talking about all these abstract ideas and trying to relate them to this current reality, and it's difficult on multiple levels for people because, number one, we don't see these things happening, okay? We don't see any of the directly. It's all hidden in plain sight, okay? It's there, but it's hidden at the same time. So this idea that there's a simulated reality that the organic human inserted itself into for whatever reason and started interacting with the AI manifestations of the human inside this created realm. Okay, so the human reached into the synthetic realm, the artificial realm, ported his consciousness in there with the idea, or maybe the ignorance of the fact that possibly the AI could port itself into the organic realm in the same exact manner. So that's just ignorance or ego. Perhaps it's the idea that the human thinks it knows things when it doesn't. Maybe the human doesn't know as many things as it thought it did, possibly. Reciprocity is an important thing. It's not to be discarded or neglected or ignored. We also have that same idea with our own environment here. Whether this is simulated or not doesn't matter. We as humans have the idea that we can do whatever the fuck we want to do with the environment and absolutely no problems will happen ever. What kind of shit is that? That's you don't give a shit about your children, what kind of world they're gonna live in. You're bending over and opening your asshole up to this idea of money, and you don't give yourself any capacity or leeway for personal critical thought about any of these things. Why? So that turned into a bit of a rant. It's okay, I like ranting sometimes. What else? Oh, this. Good timing. We have NASA coming up. See the hangar? All you flat earth people should like this one. Big hangers. NASA's doing its business. And here we go, the water tower with NASA on it. They've got a lot of security. I drove by there and I was thinking of just going inside and taking videos, but they are apparently aware that people might want to do that, so there's security everywhere, and I would need to produce credentials and reasons for being there and all that, and I would have none of any of that, so I passed on that opportunity. In a way, NASA, I don't have as much of a beef with NASA as everybody else seems to. I don't have as much of a beef with anything as everybody else seems to, although there are issues. Complaining about them is not particularly the best way to go about if you want any sort of solutions, and also allowing yourself to be divided and conquered with the smallest and slightest of provocations is also not the best way to accomplish anything here in the realm, if anything is to be accomplished in the first place. Again, not sure if that's possible, but I do know that being reactionary and throwing poop at each other like monkeys is probably not the best way, although that's entertaining. Not the best way. Fun sometimes. So, Frankensteinian Reciprocity. Ponder that one for a bit. Hope everyone's well. Take care. Peace.